In the heart of West Africa, a silent revolution is taking place. Burkina Faso, once seen as one of the world's poorest nations, is now rising with concrete steps towards self-reliance. And at the center of this transformation stands a $50 million cement plant, a project unlike anything the country has seen before. 2,000 tons of cement, every single day. That's not just production, that's power. Power to build homes, schools, roads, and futures without relying on expensive imports. For decades, Burkina Faso depended on foreign companies to supply construction materials. And with that dependency came inflated prices, long delays, and very little local benefit. But now, things are changing. This plant is more than just a factory. It's a symbol of sovereignty, of stability, and of strategy. Funded by a bold public-private partnership, the plant's construction injected millions into the local economy. And once operational, it promises over 400 permanent jobs, from engineers and technicians to logistics and administration. For a country with high youth unemployment, that's more than numbers. That's hope. Young people who once dreamed of leaving the country now see opportunity in staying. They're not just working for a paycheck, they're building their own nation. And it doesn't stop there. The cement produced here isn't just for domestic use. Burkina Faso is now eyeing regional exports, planning to supply neighboring countries like Mali, Niger, and Togo, from being an importer to becoming a regional supplier. That shift in role, from consumer to producer, is exactly the kind of transformation African nations have long needed. It's not about charity. It's not about waiting for handouts. It's about standing up, investing smart, and reclaiming control over essential industries. And guess who's backing it? Not Western corporations, not billionaires looking for profit, but the Burkinabe government itself, alongside African investors who believe in local solutions to local problems. This move fits perfectly into the vision of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who has repeatedly called for economic independence and the end of neo-colonial exploitation. Instead of gold being stolen and jobs outsourced, Burkina Faso is now choosing to build wealth from the ground up, quite literally with cement and steel. But this isn't just about one cement plant. It's about the blueprint it represents, a roadmap to a self-sustaining economy where local production fuels national growth. Across the country, small towns near the plant are transforming. Roads are being paved, shops are opening, and families, once struggling to survive, are finding new reasons to stay and thrive. Local businesses are seeing ripple effects too. Transportation companies are getting contracts. Restaurants and markets are serving plant workers. Even vocational schools are now offering training specific to cement production and industrial machinery. It's not just a factory, it's an ecosystem, and the numbers tell a powerful story. With 2,000 tons of cement produced daily, Burkina Faso is projected to slash import costs by over $20 million annually. That money stays inside the country. It circulates through communities, it strengthens the national currency, and it reduces the influence of foreign corporations that once held a monopoly over vital infrastructure materials. Even more impressive, this plant was completed ahead of schedule, with over 70% of construction labor sourced locally. Burkinabe engineers, Burkinabe planners, Burkinabe hands. It's a loud, clear message. We can build our own future. And while critics scoffed at the $50 million price tag, Traoré and his administration defended it with a simple logic. How can we talk about independence if we can't even build our own homes? Now, with full operational status, the plant has already started delivering to multiple provinces, ensuring that even the most remote villages have access to affordable construction material. And beyond bricks and mortar, this initiative is shifting mindsets. It's teaching young Africans that prosperity doesn't have to come from Europe, China, or America. It can come from Burkina Faso. It can come from Africa itself. One of the first bags of cement rolled off the line was stamped with a phrase that has since gone viral: Made in Faso for Faso. That slogan now appears on posters, trucks, and billboards, becoming a rallying cry for a new generation, a generation that refuses to be defined by poverty, conflict, or foreign dependence. Instead, they're choosing innovation, labor, and resilience. And while cement may seem like a simple product, in the hands of a determined people, it becomes a tool of revolution. Because when you control your materials, you control your construction. And when you control your construction, you start controlling your destiny. But President Traoré isn't stopping here. Following the success of the cement plant, his administration has announced plans to replicate the model in 3 more regions of Burkina Faso. Each new plant is expected to boost employment, create local supply chains, and train hundreds of youth in industrial and technical skills. The vision is simple. If we can make it here, we will. This produce what you need policy is already being applied to other sectors: textiles, steel, agriculture, even pharmaceuticals. And the people are responding. Applications for technical colleges have surged. Young students once dreaming of escaping to Europe are now choosing to build Burkina Faso from the ground up. One of the newly hired cement workers, a 24-year-old named Daouda, said it best. "For the first time in my life, I don't just have a job. I have a purpose. I'm helping build my country." That spirit is contagious, and it's catching the attention of other African nations. Delegates from Mali, Guinea, and even Tanzania have visited the plant, studying its model to see how they can adapt it at home. Traoré has openly shared the blueprints, declaring, "Africa will rise together, or not at all." Meanwhile, Western analysts are watching nervously. A self-sufficient Burkina Faso means less reliance on foreign companies and aid. It threatens the decades-old model of economic dependence that's kept Africa fragmented. And that's exactly what Traoré wants to dismantle. Because to him, every bag of cement that leaves the factory with "Made in Faso" on it is a brick in the wall of freedom. A freedom built not with speeches or slogans, but with factories, workers, sweat, and steel. And while the global media may still focus on instability, coups, and conflicts in Africa, those who visit Burkina Faso today see something very different. Cranes in the sky, foundations being poured, dreams being built, one block at a time. And as this cement plant roars with machines day and night, there's a new sound in the air. Progress, not imposed, not borrowed, but owned. And finally, homegrown. But progress brings challenges. The success of the cement plant has triggered sharp reactions from foreign cement giants who once dominated West Africa's markets. Several of them have now slashed prices, hoping to undercut Traoré's new venture. Others are lobbying international banks to block financing for Burkina Faso's upcoming expansions. But Traoré was prepared. Anticipating resistance, his team has already secured local investment pools, partnerships with African banks, and even informal trade deals with neighboring nations who've pledged to buy Faso-made cement to support the vision. And the numbers speak for themselves. In just 6 months, Burkina Faso's cement imports dropped by 40%. Meanwhile, domestic construction projects, schools, clinics, housing, have increased by 28%. Even skeptics are beginning to admit, this isn't just a cement plant, it's a strategy that combines sovereignty, industry, and dignity into a single operation. At a recent ceremony, as Traoré toured the plant alongside workers, he paused, placed a hand on a fresh concrete wall, and said to reporters, "This is more than concrete. It's the foundation of our freedom. You can't build independence if you're still importing your bricks." That line went viral across Africa. And now, young entrepreneurs from Senegal to Sudan are quoting it as they launch their own micro-industries. For the first time in decades, Africa's youth are no longer just chasing jobs, they're creating them. And Burkina Faso's $50 million cement plant it may just go down in history. This is just the beginning of a new chapter for Africa. Like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories the world tries to ignore.